All right, so now we're looking at a side view. And both of these shots are very well executed shots. The one here on the bottom, I asked you to accelerate a little bit more and try to get an extra half a mile an hour to mile an hour. And again, you can see yourself starting here just a little bit earlier than here, which means that this one's going to be faster because you're going to get out of them pretty close to the same, although this one on the bottom is, again, going to get just a little bit more velocity coming through the hit zone right through here. This is your hit zone. But what we're seeing here is just a defined move to the floor. Everything is coming down with acceleration, and then it's exit at the bottom of that swing. And again, with that extra intention, this is getting off the hand faster, cleaner, with more energy on it, but still controlled and still balanced. Okay, still leveraged, all those neat words. But more importantly is again, it adds a little bit of versatility to your skill levels of developing speed. How can I create a little bit faster ball speed without getting crazy about it? And it's just, as much as anything, it's about all I want to do is get my feet moving a little bit quicker. Think about it. Intention. They used to ask Marshall Holman, how do you throw it a half a mile an hour faster? He says, I tell myself to throw it a half a mile an hour faster. And it did. That's how he did it. That was God's truth. You know, as opposed, if you say Norm is going to give you this dissertation on how he has to throw it a half a mile an hour slower by changing this position and that position and push away position. And the little diagram that he sees in front of his face, he goes to D2 instead of E4, and that's how I get my feet to go the right pace, and my swing starts up higher versus starting off lower. And you know, it's just, you got to be kidding me. As opposed to, I just tell myself to throw it a half a mile an hour faster. Which one's easier? You know. So again, keeping it simple is always the way to go, but keeping it simple also has to work. You know, just saying I'm going to do it doesn't necessarily mean it's what's going to happen. But if you say you're going to do it and you naturally take off with a little bit faster, a little more leg action right through here, which is what you just said that you did. This leg's pushing off a little harder than this one, so this one is just kind of smoothing through as opposed to accelerating through. And I know this one's accelerating more so than what we were doing yesterday because the ball's getting off your hand sooner. So we're not catching the ball on the upswing anymore with the fingers flipping up. We're delivering with an open hand and the ball is traveling towards the floor. So as much frustration as there was over the last 24 hours for you, it's paying dividends right now insofar as you know you can do it and you've got a means to that end. And that's what you got to have is, okay, I know I got this idea, now how am I going to do it? Now you got a way of doing it. And that's what we're after.